Hey everyone, welcome to a thrown together impromptu Virtual Veg Fest 15 live talk with Howard Jacobson. And we hope that you'll join us and ask some questions or have any comments because we're going to talk about being a health coach today and the Wellness Start program that happens and starts next week on Wednesday. And I'm part of it. And I wanted to bring Howard on so that maybe more of you would want to join because, with COVID and virus and pandemic and helping people, you might want to do that. And it's something that I've wanted to do for over 20 years, maybe closer to 30. So it's something I've always wanted to do. And now you get to learn about it too. Because even though I'm in this course, I kind of joined it like last week. So I have questions too. So if you don't ask them, I'll probably ask them. But let's bring Howard on. And if you don't know, he's in North Carolina. He's not too far from me, probably about an hour or so. So he's local to our community. And I'm pretty excited because, one, he's also a really funny guy. So here we go. Hey, Howard.
Hey, I'm still pixelated.
Yes, you are. It's pixelated Howard today.
And I washed my face and everything. Completely pointless.
True. Oh, Kathy says hi. Hi, Kathy. Okay, awesome. You were just with them. Okay. Oh, Karen, good. Karen joined. Karen actually asked me a question about how much the course costs. So, Howard, I'm gonna let you talk about. Let's talk about like this health coaching course and how to get involved and what it is and go.
Yeah, yeah. So the idea is like partly. So let's talk to the plant-based community because I come at this from a health perspective, lifestyle medicine. But like people who go plant-based, like they get healthier. They feel better about themselves. The blinders are taken off about cruelty in the world in so many different ways. It's really hard not to become an evangelist, right? And just tell everybody all the time, right? And there's a place for that. There's a place for promotion, and there's a time and place where that really gets in the way, right? Like you just see people walking down the street and you're like, that person needs to know about forks over knives. I can just see it on her face, right? And so very like then the next thing is like, oh my God, this means so much to me. I'm going to maybe get the eCornell certification from the T. Colin Campbell program. I'm going to do the Ruby School. I'm going to become a health coach. I'm going to like I want to, or I'm going to learn how to like do the PCRM, Food for Life instruction. And so now we're like full of here's how you do it. Here's how you shop. I can come over and do a kitchen makeover for you. I can give you recipes. I can point you to websites. And we get this idea in our heads, which is totally incorrect when we think about it for more than 2 seconds. We think all people need is information and they'll change, right? Tell them about factory farms, about persistent organic pollutants, about the cruelty, about the antibiotics, about the runoff. And of course, they'll see the light. And of course, none of us did. Right. The only thing more persistent than organic pollutants is our own willful stupidity until we decide to take that step. And nobody's sort of browbeating us or berating us or advising us or giving us suggestions or be like all of those are positions of superiority. And so we can end up getting a lot of pushback from people who would otherwise be receptive. So really the first part about coaching of anything is we want to be in service of the person that we're working with. And if that person doesn't know they want to go plant-based or vegan, then that's not our first item on the agenda. We find out, what do you want? Yeah, I'd love to lose 10 pounds. I'd love to be healthier. I'd love to get off my diabetes meds. Right? Oh, okay. And then once we got some permission, we have tools that we can use that actually they do the heavy lifting. We ask questions, they do the work, we can guide. I'm not saying like some coaching programs believe that we never give advice, we never offer expertise, we just ask. The person has the answers inside them. I don't believe that either. But there's a time and a place for sharing expertise, and it's not as soon as the person looks at you and make eye contact. right? So this course partly is for coaches who want to become better coaches. It's partly for lifestyle medicine practitioners, doctors, nurses, physical therapists, dietitians who need to influence their people to comply, because lifestyle medicine is not, you can't give someone a shot in the butt or a prescription or cut them open. Like, there's much more of a partnership. And it's for people in the plant-based community who think, I really want to help other people down this path in a respectful and effective way.
Oh, that's awesome. I never know. You're like one of those people. I don't know if you're done.
Yeah. Uh, um, Here,
And you're not pixelated anymore, so you're good.
mhm.
So when you join this course, this is what you get.
Right. You get the tape, so you stop yelling at people. Yeah. So it's a 13-week program, and what I wanted to give people is a reliable process, so that because I've done a lot of coach training. I've been a coach for over 2 decades, and coaching can be very much of a smorgasbord. Like, if anyone here has taken coach training, there could be tons of different, here's a PDF on this, here's a matrix, here's a wheel of life, here's an Enneagram, and here's an exercise to do, here's a visualization. And they're all great, but we can get overwhelmed by them. So what I wanted to give people is a very, very simple framework, almost like teaching you how to play chess. So do you play chess?
No.
No. Oh,
I
well,
get the idea, though. So.
Yeah, or any game or any sport where there's a strategy.
Yep.
So I think of it in terms of moves. So we want to make effective moves in the service of our clients. So I'll give you a little bit of a giveaway for the first week. The assignment is, after we talk about like what coaching is and all the blah, 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 your assignment is to go find someone and have a conversation with them about a problem that they're having or an issue that they're facing. And your job is to offer zero advice and simply be curious, ask questions, and the process is listen to them like no one has ever listened to them before. And then we're going to come back and talk about it, because there's the recorded presentations, and then every week at 8 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, there's a live group call where we debrief the assignment and we practice coaching together. And it's amazing what happens when people do this exercise. I can give you just a couple of little teasers, things you'll hear. One is, that was really hard. I kept wanting to jump in. I did offer advice. I failed. Like, people will come in like guilty, like, I couldn't stop myself. Right. So great to notice. Right. Because we all have the urge to do it, even very experienced coaches. You haven't, like, someone says, I've got this problem, and you go, I know 12 things to do, right? So we have to know what that feels like in order to repress it, because if you happen not to have tape handy. Right? The second thing people will say is, they thanked me so much, and I didn't feel like I did anything. I offered zero value, and they were like, oh my God, thank you. I know what to do now, or it's so clear. And so one of the things we learn is that coaching is not about working hard, right? It's letting the other person do the work, construct the worldview, construct the mindset for themselves. And we coaches get into trouble when we start working hard, right? When, like, Helene, I really want you to do this marathon. Like, I'm invested. And now I'm going to get in my own way, and I'm going to start pressuring you, and you're going to get annoyed. So that's the foundation, is to just sort of curious listening and seeing the value of simply being a sounding board, asking curiosity-driven questions. So there's no skill involved. I don't teach anything in order to do this. It's just incredible. People don't realize how counterintuitive it is to simply be curious and let the other person expand on that. And then we're going to talk about a particular coaching model called the Quick model, which was developed by a friend of mine, Peter Bregman, who's one of, I think he was just named like world's #1 executive coach. So I hitched my wagon to a good star. And it's a process. And then we're talking about a methodology called Never Binge Again, which is by Glenn Livingston, who's another buddy of mine, who wrote this book based on, he's a clinical psychologist for many years, and it's a book about how to stop binging while maintaining power and control. So it's very different from the 12-step model, which is I have to give up control. So for some people that works. For most people, this is more empowering. And just a little tidbit, when he started this work, he was not vegan. It was the farthest thing from his mind. And he created a character that's like the voice inside your head that wants you to binge, and he called it the pig. And 3 years ago, he became an ethical vegan, and he's like, that was the worst decision I ever made. So it's one of those things that vegans have to get over, is that the branding is there, but we can do other things. The other thing we talk about a ton as coaches is helping people with stress based on their neurology and based on the presumption of trauma. That anyone who's over 100 pounds overweight is carrying trauma. You can't get that heavy because you just love Burger King. Right. So we have to, and when we all know when people are under stress, they stress eat. Right. And as our buddy Chef AJ says, I've never seen anyone stress eat broccoli and brown rice.
That's right.
Right. So understanding not just the mentality of stress, not just how to think about it, but actually how to work with people's bodies because stress is a physiological experience. And so we deal with it physiologically, and we really pay attention to what's going on in the body. And so all of that together gives people a really powerful skill set for helping to guide other people to get traction. Because you tell someone to go vegan, okay, got it. I know what to eat now.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, oh man, I was doing so good. And then cheese curls, and then the thing. And then they go, oh, well, that's another diet, right?
Right.
I did South Beach for a month. Right. I did Hollywood cookie for 6 weeks. That was pretty good. And I did vegan, right? And we want to show people how to navigate through the inevitable ups and downs, as opposed to expecting perfection and giving up the minute that they stray from that.
Right, the psychology that goes along with the I hope everyone's having as much fun with this as I am. It's the psychology that goes along with the physical eating part. It's because it's mental, it's physical, it's physiological, it's spiritual. There's so many elements and aspects to getting healthy. It's not just the food that you put into your mouth. It can't just be the food you put into your mouth, because the reason you're taking your hand and you're taking that food to your mouth, whether it's a cookie or cake or like high fat like potato chips or whatever, and not an apple, and not brown rice and veggies with some salsa and some beans. You pick this 3 slices of pizza. There's a reason why you've made those choices. So to figure out what those are, and once you can get there, your whole world can open up, because then you can probably stay on that path for the rest of your life once you understand the why of what you're doing.
Yep. And I want to make a distinction that's really useful, because we do look at the why, but only in the present tense. So we don't go, well, my mother always gave me chocolate when I skinned my knee, which is true. Right? But because then, that's like when we think about it in those terms, then we can't stop eating chocolate until we resolve our relationship with our mother. But I don't want to wait that long.
That's fair. That's very fair. Right. It's the now. It's the now. I totally get it. Yeah, we all have a past.
So the why is really about, okay, let me be mindful. What's the state change that I'm searching for? And I promise you, so if you are starving, chocolate is useful. I used to keep a can of Coca-Cola in my car that I had in emergencies when I had to drive home from a rehearsal after midnight, so I wouldn't crash, right? That was one time that Coca-Cola was a health food, right? It was going to keep me from wrapping my car around a tree trunk, right? But so we eat to to move from one state to another. If it's a physiological state of caloric deprivation to the calories we need, that's one thing. But it's almost always an emotional, psychological state that we're trying to change. And food is really good at changing our moods for about 30 seconds. Right. So once that's the other thing we discover as health coaches is that once, and we discover it ourselves when we go on this journey, the minute we start getting control over our eating, we leave room for all of these other areas of growth.
It's true.
Right? I mean, think how many vegans do you know who started just eating plant-based for health reasons and became better versions of themselves through the struggle, through having to resist. And they were now open to ethics. They were now open to compassion and harmony. Partly it's to take the meat off the plate and it opens it up, but partly it's the actual struggle. And so we're not trying to make this the easiest version of going plant-based there ever was, right? You want to give people the opportunity to grow if that's something that they want and it's something that and they'll move towards.
Yeah, I think that sounds fantastic. So if somebody wanted to join this course next week, one, can they?
Yes.
Okay.
So really the deadline is well, the first group call is going to be Wednesday night. So that's the 10th, 13th, something, 8th, 7th, 7th.
So,
Wednesday the 7th. So anytime before then, but we do have to have a conversation because it's a very interactive group. And I've never let anybody in without having, excuse me, without having a 30-second call, for a 30-minute call first to just assess, first of all, is it right for you? And is this person going to be an asset to the group? So, people were asking about how much it costs. It's so $1,000. And I ask for a $25 enrollment interview fee, just sort of serious money. And if we decide that you're going to take the course for whatever reason, I can refund that to you. And then for the rest, you pay $970, and you can do it in one payment, in three. There have been some people who said, I really want to do this, but money is tight, and money is tight for a lot of people. So I made a 12 payment plan. So $85 a month for a year, if you want to do it that way. So I really don't want to leave anybody out because of finances. So if someone's listening to this and they say, you know what, I'd love to do it, but I can't even afford that, they should email me. HJ@plantyourself.com, and tell me what works for them, and we'll see if we can work it out. Because like the world needs more people who know how to help other people get what they want.
that's true. That's really true. And I know you're flexible and I know you'll be accommodating to anybody like Karen if she's interested in joining. I mean, love to have you join the course next week and be part of it and, help grow healthy people in a healthy way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like coaching is like such a good superpower. Like maybe invisibility, I would trade for it, but not flight.
Okay. You spent some time with Kathy Hester this afternoon. You went into a Harry Potter direction. Totally
Yeah.
get it. That's fantastic. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you coming on because
Well,
with the
thank
Plant
you.
Based Network, we're going to work on focusing on health to close out 2020 and bring more of these live talks with people to teach people how to get healthier with food, with climate, diet, with the planet, for animals, whatever we can do to help people get onto a path that's more whole foods, plant based. And let's close out 2020 better than it started. So let's close out 2020 healthy. Oh, there goes my dog. Healthy, happy, and helping people. So that's something that, you can bring. Really? Yeah, that's Franny. So
Do you need tape for them?
I should. That's bad. But yeah, really, I couldn't go 20 minutes without a dog barking. It's sometimes I can go hours, then sometimes I can't go 20 minutes. So, but Howard, is there anything else you want to share? I mean, 13-week class. You know how to sign up, reach out to you, 30-minute call with you, not 30 seconds,
Yeah,
30-minute call with
30
you
minutes.
to like, feel each other out, make sure that they'll work in the course and be,
Yeah. Yeah, two more things just occurred to me. One is I have no idea if this is the right course for someone. So, and arguably, I'm the last person in the world you should trust to tell you so. So, I have a full money back guarantee, like up for the whole 13 weeks. At any point, you say, this isn't right, and you get it back. The second thing is if people are interested in hearing more about how I think about coaching. So, my leader and I, Kevin Davis, have a podcast called the Health Coaches Podcast, which you can find at healthcoachespodcast.com, because amazingly that was still available. And they're somewhere between like 15 and 40 minutes. There's demonstrations, there's interviews with other health coaches, probably a bunch of people you know and love. Because the other thing is like it's a plant-based program, only in that like we're all plant-based. There's nothing particularly plant-based about coaching. Like you could use these tools for business or keto or anything, but there's a lot of refugees from other coaching programs who are like, if I hear about bone broth one more time,
right.
so it's kind of like a safe space for us.
That's wonderful. And that's even better for people that are, even transitioning into this world. Sometimes you, like you said, newbie vegans, newbie whole food plant based people, that you just become this huge cheerleader and you want to change the world. So here's your opportunity to like work on changing the world in a non oppressive manner.
Right on.
Because that's important. So, I mean, Howard, thank you so much for making the time to come on and do this like brief talk about here comes a cat, what's gonna happen next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be fantastic. Of course, I'm gonna be a tiny bit busy with Nashville Veg Fest coming up, but I should make it to. I will be Wednesday night before when I head to Nashville, I guess I'll be taking the call from Knoxville, Tennessee. So it'll be all good. Oh, cat just went by. But like I said, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great night. And I'm sure I will talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Aline.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. All right, bye, hun.
Bye.
So everyone, that was pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed listening to Howard and what the class has to offer next week. And if you want to join, please look at the comments or watch the video again because they're on the screen with how you can do that. And of course, once again, how I finish out my lives, make sure that when you go out, you wear a mask over your nose, under your chin, not like this, not like this, not like this. Wear it correctly because that's the way to save lives. It's the way to not get coronavirus. And of course, I am wearing my Vote Blue shirt today that I got from Designer Sprouts. Kelly makes our shirts. That's where I stand. You do you, but please vote. No matter what you believe or what you feel, vote. Please do that. Incredibly important. And we will see you, what's today, Friday? Tomorrow. Afton Hughes, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time from the Pig Preserve. It's going to be a great talk, especially if you love pigs in a positive way. So join us then and have a great rest of your night and weekend. Bye.